I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your cattle market summary for the week ending July the 21st, where we had a placement shocker on the cattle on feed report come out at 2 o'clock Central Time there on Friday, but nobody was expecting that. That is horribly bearish. Of course, luckily the board was closed and most of all of our trade was done, but other than that, we had a tumultuous week, and the market came through all that pretty good. The board was down early in the week there, pretty tough, and then on top of that, that was on Tuesday, and then late Tuesday had reports of an atypical BSE case that was found in an Alabama sale barn cow. That scared everybody to death. Market did not knee-jerk to that. It seems like that we have safeguards in there, and we work through that, and it gives everybody more confidence that we can use those safeguards and not have to pay the penalty in the market. So made it through that. The heat was unbearable all week with the ring of fire sitting over the overabundance of the central U.S., and just a little bit of rain and moisture on the outsides of that. Some of it did fall in the driest parts of the Dakotas and places, but it was also came along with some severe weather with wind and hail, which didn't need that. Your grains were totally in a weather market like they are now until we get done with harvest. So any little thing, any drop of rain that falls, or any time it gets hot or windy or anything, it's just gonna, the grain markets are gonna react, and then of course your feeder cattle primarily are gonna have to react to that. But everything, we made it through until we got to this cattle on feed report that was pretty darn bearish, and we'll just have to look into next week to see how markets react to that. But you look at the board all week, live cattle futures with the most popular October. Monday was up a nickel. And some of our technical analysts are saying that there was technical support out there, and we looked forward to that. But then Tuesday, live cattle down $1.75. So we thought, what the heck happened to our technical support? But then Wednesday, we were expecting the board to be down hard, responding to that BSE case, but it was up $2. Thursday back off $1.80, and then Friday up 32 cents. To end the week at 117.40, down 40 cents for the week. Feeder cattle, August contract, Monday was up 15, Tuesday down 282, Wednesday back up 290, Thursday down 222, and then Friday up 67 cents to end the week at 152.95, down just $1.32. But your fat cattle trade came in, and everybody goes nervous about this cattle on feed report. A lot of expectations on both sides of what it was going to be. Luckily, got most of your fat cattle trade done just after lunch, but before the cattle on feed report come out, which just give you a 2-hour window, and it wasn't, they didn't get them start selling them right at noon there, but it all happened within about an hour, and then they luckily sold the cattle at 120 live and 190 dressed in all your major areas, which would be fully steady and a great victory for the market. And hopefully we can kind of get over the results of this cattle on feed report before we start trading again next week. Your slaughter for the week, pretty decent, 622,000, down 7,000 from that huge week last week, but up 25,000 from the same week a year ago. Your actual dressed steer weights come out for the week ending July the 8th. We're kind of bearish with 866 pound steer carcass on the average, up 7 pounds from the previous report. Like we said, cattle on feed report come out. A lot of times it doesn't make a big difference. We'll see what will happen here, but nobody was expecting this placement figure. But your July 1st inventories come in just over what the analysts had guessed on the average. It come in at 104. They had guessed 103. So that lends you to the bearish side, but not really that much. But it was basically all due to the placements, because you look out at the placements come in 16% more than the same report a year ago, and the average and the analyst guess was just 106. 107 on the top end of the range of guesses. Nobody saw this coming. Marketings were just a tad bit disappointing, come in at 104. They were expecting the largest marketing since the same report 6 years ago in 2011, but come in at 104 compared to the analyst guess at 105. Cash feeder markets, real-time index late on Friday afternoon sitting at 150.78 and rising, up $1.52 from the end of Thursday's market. And basically your RTI gained about $1.50 to $2 through the week, but your cash feeder trends were $3 to $6 higher. Most all your big volume sales were that much higher, and it was just the overall market catching up with the top sales that happened in and around the holiday week break on 4th of July. We've been seeing some big sales, and your overall market started catching some of those big sales, and we see the feeder averages $3 to $6 higher. You look at some individual quotes late in the week there. I mentioned that on a feeder flash, but on Thursday, Valentine livestock market, Valentine, Nebraska, sold a load of 734 pound steers at $184. Monster price. I just can't understand how you can give that kind of money. If you thought there was any way that those cattle would work, why not buy some cattle $20 a hundred cheaper somewhere else and make those work that much better? But still, they just get them, those sandhill cattle out there in Valentine, and it's a long way to Valentine from anywhere if you've ever been up there. But you look at another big quote which really notches the market and sets the pace for your Northern Plains yearling steers. At Lexington, Nebraska, around noon on Friday, almost 500 head of 850 pound steers went through the ring there at 157 1/4, and that's no fluke there. That's the market in the Northern Plains for top quality 850 pound steers, and it's a high one. But that's a look at your week's feeder markets from a home DV auction office here in Canyon, Texas. We'll talk to you next week.